On YouTube. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So glad to have you here. Today, as you can see, we have another Star Wars Hot Toys unboxing. It is none other than Princess Leia and Wicket. So, without further ado, let's get this started. If you guys know me, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Return of the Jedi. It's my absolute favorite film out of the original trilogy, and that is what I am collecting for my display in the collection room. Now, this video wouldn't be possible without my brother. He was able to give me an amazing deal as he was cutting down on some of his collection, and so he offered me to grab this, which of course I did because of the deal he gave me, and I could not turn it down. So what we're going to do now is lay it out, get that top cover off like we do, and take a look at that art. Guys, and here we have the top of the box here. You got Leia herself, Wicket, the standard shoebox style that Hot Toys always does with their Star Wars packaging, and that's about it. Taking off the cover, you will see the beautiful Endor background. You'll see Leia now in her Endor poncho. She had that in the front as well, but you'll notice what's different is you have the helmet. You'll be able to swap those out, and then believe this is some of that display base here blended in with the picture. I always love these inserts for the art because it's the figure. I always say that, and not just a photo from the film. Fun fact if you didn't know that. And then taking it off, you will see the clam tray here housing everything, and I mean there is a ton here to go over, so I'm going to take it all out and we'll look at all of those pieces. Just wanted to point out there is a cigar style wrap that goes around the box. It has the side of Leia and Wicket talking to each other. On the other side it has the info of it. These do come with the newer Hot Toys style Star Wars boxes. However, my brother doesn't like to display these with his boxes. I do, and I will be putting this back on the front cover, so don't freak out. This does come with it in case you were wondering. Now, just like the Return of the Jedi Scout, Trooper, and Speeder Bike set, you can see there is a lot to go around here, and you can see exactly why I wanted to pick this set up is because it matches identically as far as diorama display pieces go to that Scout Bike set. Now let's start out over here since I showed this already. You do get a little stand for Wicket, which I think is incredibly cute, as well as his own nameplate. You can see Wicket right there. Here's some more of those diorama pieces, and they just kind of slide right on top of the base. You do get another one with a little bit more action going on. This one's a little bit bent. This one's going this way. All different sizes, shapes. Wonderfully detailed. The rocks are weathered, painted nicely, and same thing for this piece as well. I absolutely love these. It just brings the display to life. Now continuing on with Wicket, he does get some hands here. They're all furry. You do get the gripping hand in the film where he was holding that little treat, whatever Leia gave to him, and he eats. So if you wanted to recreate that scene, you absolutely could do. And then these things are really cool. They don't do that great of a job to me of looking fabric, but then again it could be, you know, leather that was in the film. I would have to go back and watch it, but the wood grain, they do an incredible job of looking dirty, grimy. Then you get the helmet here, all scuffed up and weathered as well. And he uses those sticks to kind of bang on these. At least the little Ewoks did in the end of the film. They had these lined up like a drum set, but it's really cool. They're very nicely painted, dirty, grimy, and very detailed on the inside. They will not go on top of a figure itself because it doesn't have the peg, but if you wanted your trooper to hold the helmet on his side, he absolutely could do so. Now the last piece for Wicket you can get is his little spear. This looks like it has a little bit of moss growing on it, and it's like it's been carved out of the rock. It's pointy, it's It's wrapped up, the wood grain. This piece just looks awesome as well. Now starting with some of Leia's accessories. You get the helmet, of course, as we've seen. It's got nice weathering there, all scuffed up, looking metallic. It does not come apart, however, you can do the chin strap, and like there's a little peg there that pegs in. It's detailed wonderfully on the inside as well, but unlike the sideshow one, this one does not come apart, so when putting it on the head sculpt, it does have a little bit of give here, but you want to be extremely careful when putting that on your head sculpt. Then we have her base here, and you can see it says Princess Leia. You got the Endor theme there. You have her blaster, which is a little bit weathered. It's not too weathered. It's weathered more on the top, but it gets the job done, and that sits right in her holster or in her hand. You get her little watch, which some people have complained that, you know, the whole joint situation or wrist peg. This covers one of the wrist pegs. It doesn't cover the other, but then that's what the poncho is for. It can cover up a lot of those unsightly, you know, arm things. It is wired, so you can manipulate it to do different things. I believe it's also wired in the hood, and the material is nice. It's got little slit covers here for the belt to go through when you put it on, and you have to pop the head sculpt off and it just pops right over. But this is also nicely detailed. There isn't as much weathering to me, at least I can see. There may be a little bit of a wash going over it, but as far as dirt goes, it's not all that dirty. It's just a nice camouflage print. And last but not least, you do get some wrist pegs here for Wicket and for Leia. Alright, and here we have Leia by herself. We're going to take a look at her first. You can see I put her blaster in there and her watch on. I do love the little innocent kind of looking up that she has. It's not something too crazy, so we'll get a closer look up at this sculpt here. The pants aren't what I thought they're almost like they could be like a suede texture, almost like a velvet jumpsuit, but it's so microfiber-ish that it's really hard to pin on what it is. This is your standard, like, you know, button up. It's a bit wrinkled here because we had the poncho on her, so the joint is showing a little bit more there, but as you can see, it can be hidden a little bit more, and then the watch can hide that unsightly wrist peg. This side does a pretty good job of coming down here by itself. Unless you turn her wrist, then it kind of exposes it a little bit. The neck is on a rubbery kind of neck, so it can go down. I would be careful not to articulate it too much. I don't have experience with those as much, so I don't know if it will rip over time. Just like I said, be extremely careful. I love the reflection in her eyes. You can really get a feel of the glossiness. I'd be careful of these hair pieces that hang down. You can see the nicely sculpted braided hair here. So it kind of gets rid of that seam line you would get in most Hot Toys. Her boots are a pleather material. They're very shiny, not really much tread except the heels, and you got the stamps. Not a whole lot of weathering going on around her outfit. It's just very clean, very basic, and for a princess, it should be clean, at least in my personal opinion. Now her head does go forward and back, as I said. You do get some side-to-side action, and you can look from left to right. She's got a double bend in the elbow, the female wrist peg. She crunches forward and back, can basically do the splits, a double bend at the knee, and then there's not really articulation because it's a complete boot, which I absolutely love and gives that attention to realism, which is why I collect these figures. Now before I move on from her, I do want to show you that poncho look and the helmet. So what you want to do is you want to carefully pop off her head, and now she's a floating head. Now this is where the invisible seam line comes into play, because you definitely want to read your instructions, otherwise you might scratch the sculpt, because this, like a Luke, is a two-piece, and you can put that down, and then the helmet should nicely fit. So I got it sitting in there, and it does really kind of plug in there, you'll feel it kind of snugly fit, gives like a locking kind of feel once her head is placed in there. And it still just looks beautiful as ever. This is an amazing sculpt. You got some blushing here, the redness in her eyes. I absolutely love this. Now you want to grab your body again. This belt is velcroed in the back and it just pops off. It has some velcro in the front that you will have to remove, and that's, helps you align it. I love that detail as well. Hot Toys just thinks of everything, don't they, when it comes to these. You then want to slide your poncho over, exposing the head. It just slides right over. And then you can take your head sculpt and you can pop it right back on. Another thing I just felt while popping this back on, this is a nice detail as well. It's actually fabric up top here, so you get some texture and feel there. You don't get that with the sideshow. The sideshow is, for Luke, is completely sculpted. So that's a one-up I guess I would like, but at the same time I feel like 2 separate head sculpts wouldn't be that big a deal. Now you would get charged an arm and a leg for it, but that's a different story. Next, you just want to thread the belt into here, so I'll be right back after I do that. So here she is all dressed up in her Endor look, with the poncho on, having her gun. She hears something. She's walking through the forest of Endor, and I really think those diorama pieces really sets the display and sets the tone for this look. I absolutely love it, and I think that's how I'll probably keep the theme of Return of the Jedi in my display. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the second figure that comes with this 2-pack, and it's absolutely one that I love. I think it's adorable, and it's really cool that Hot Toys did this. It's a custom body. He does stand pretty nice on his own. He's got kind of thicker feet here. They're nicely textured, look like actual feet, and the fur here is really soft. I like this material as well, and he's completely done up. He's got a little bit of weathering that could also be staining from this as well. I wouldn't know how to get rid of that. I did have a tutorial on how to get rid of excess fabric dye. Unfortunately, for something like this, because it almost feels like pleather mix of fabric, I wouldn't want to ruin it, and if that happens anyway, it is covered up, so not to worry. Plus, he's always on the planet Endor in the forest getting dirty anyways, so it just creates that awesome look that you're after regardless. He is nicely weathered all the way around, has a bit of dirt everywhere. His face, it looks just like a little teddy bear almost. He does roll around. He can pivot side to side. His arms can go out. Feels like a single jointed, but I don't expect them to do much. Actually, no, that's a double bend. Excuse me. That's a double bended elbow. Single at the knee, kind of just bends a little bit, and then he's got a peg there at the foot. This guy is really cool. He's lightweight. On the Chewbacca, if you own a Chewbacca, I reviewed that figure as well. You're able to feel, like, I guess, the body that they used underneath. This is a little bit more thicker. This, to me, in my personal opinion, feels more quality than the Chewbacca. The Chewbacca feels like it's just a guy in a suit almost, even though that is what it is in the film, but it's not thick, and you can kind of feel the suit moving around, but the hair makes up for it, which gives you the look to make him, I guess, feel thicker. Whereas this guy has like padding, and he really feels like he looks like he's thick everywhere. Maybe that's just me in my opinion, but I think this guy feels super high quality, and he also looks amazing and will go great with any other Wookiees, and I hope they do more Ewoks, but he definitely goes great with Leia because they were such great companions in the film. So now we have Wicket here with some of his accessories, chowing down on some of that food that Leia had given him, along with holding his spear because he's still scared, got his guard up, and doesn't really know what to expect. And we got the diorama piece there on the right to add to the scene, and I just love the endless options that you get with both of these figures. So yeah, I'm gonna get them both out here and we're gonna see what it all looks like together. Before we move on and do something different, I did want to point out, if you look below, you can see that the transition between the two base toppers is seamless. So when you put these bases together, it just fits so well. And I think that was awesome of Hot Toys to do, for it to kind of blend seamlessly and create this indoor look. It's hard to get her in a full kneel, but you get the idea. And if I had more time, I'd probably futz with it a little bit more. I am trying to keep them on the display bases as well, so maybe if you weren't using them, you could do it a bit properly, but you can see she's just trying to show him that helmet, and she's like, you know, not here to hurt you, and he can check it out and do whatever. And this is one of my favorite scenes in Return of the Jedi when they meet, and I think that it may be asking for a bit too much, but like they have the broken tree trunk there, if it came with like somehow a bench where they were sitting together, that would have been cool as well, to kind of bridge it across their display stands there in the back. It just would have added a little bit more variety, although you, like I said, you do get a whole bunch to do with this set. And at the end of the day, I'm still happy. Switch it up once again before she kneels down. I think this looks incredible as well. Like I said, it's just endless, and I'm having absolute fun posing these two up. Wrapping up on these two figures, once again, a massive shout out to my brother who let me have these before he went and sold it off and gave me a chance to put these in my collection. I'm so happy to have them in my collection. To anyone out there who still wants these, I mean, I was going to wait and see if Hot Toys was going to do this pack again for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi next year. However, now I don't have to wait, and because I got a good deal, I won't have to pick up another set, or if they didn't, then I lucked out either way. But let's go ahead and draw the giveaway winner, and then I'll wrap it up. Alright, so now we've reached the giveaway portion for this video, and I'm super excited to see who wins. We have the wheel here. I have all the names entered in the order that I received them. I will be shuffling it a few times to give, you know, a little bit of a fair advantage to everybody. So I'll do it about 3 times. I did it once there. I'll do it again and one more time. And then just a huge good luck to everybody who entered, and we're going to spin it here. All right, it's slowing down here. Michael. Congratulations, man, and congratulations and thank you to everybody who entered this giveaway and the support. We're already well on our way to 400 subscribers, and I can't be more thankful, and it's because of all of you. I do plan on doing other giveaways in the future, so stay tuned to the channel because there will be plenty to go around. As for Michael, I will reach out to you or you reach out to me, whichever happens first. I'm on Instagram at collecting_madness. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.